What do you make of what KD had to say?
I know exactly what he's saying, and I also know what Steve Kerr is saying. Steve Kerr is not saying go out there and jack 30 shots up. He's just saying be more aggressive. KD understand that, but KD has to break it down to people that don't understand the game. And what he's saying is, I've been playing a certain way my whole career.
And I've been good at it.
All y'all stand up here asking me questions because I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. I've been a back-to-back MVP. You know who I am. And I play my game a certain way. And he gave respect to Patrick Beverley because guys like Patrick Beverley, we want them type of guys on our team, and that's the way he plays. And the way he plays is effective. But at the same time, KD understands the game. He's a student of the game. He said it. I can go out there and dominate and score on them every time. That's not winning basketball. That's not how we won 2 championships. I'm going to continue to play. I understand what Coach is saying. I'm going to continue to play out the way I know how to play and play with my teammates.
Yeah, I took the Steve Kerr comment like you. A coach is just trying to speak because 20 shots is one thing. In Kevin Durant's career, 435 games, he's taken 20 shots in his career. Only one guy took more than 20. That's in LeBron in the same amount of time. But as far as 30 shots, KD has 20 games where he took 30 shots in his career, regular season and the playoffs.
30 shots, a lot of shots.
Now, there's 6 more players that have more 30-shot games than him compared to just one with the 20-shot game. So what Steve Kerr is saying, Kevin Durant is not going to do. So Kevin Durant, when he has the press conference afterwards, he's not disobeying the coach.
Not at all.
He's just breaking it down to, this is the way I'm going to play. Steve Kerr is telling you, as I want Kevin to be more aggressive, but they both can be right. Steve Kerr is right. And Kevin Durant is right because he has made his reputation by being one of the most efficient players, scorers that we've ever seen in this game. And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with his game. Then once he went to the Warriors, now we just start picking them apart because we didn't like the move. We didn't like that the league wasn't balanced anymore. But Kevin Durant's ability to be efficient is one of the special qualities about it. He broke down the defense, what they're trying to do to me. They're playing up under me. And he's right. He's got 6 offensive fouls. Patrick Beverley is all into his space. As a player, your space is your own space. A defensive player is not supposed to be able to come into your space. So they're not refereeing the games the right way. So Kevin should be able to push back to be able to gain the cylinder of his space back. He hadn't been able to do that. But he taught me an awful lot. I wish there was other NBA players. I know it's difficult because they're doing this 4 or 5 times a week. But he taught me something about basketball. And I like that when they give me, because most of these guys that play at this level, they're basketball geniuses. And every once in a while, if they can just let me in to give me a little more insight, I appreciate it. And that's what Kevin Durant did for me yesterday.
And that's why he got kicked out in a lot of reasons. Because once you go to the referee and they call the calls for Beverly, and once you go to the referee and say, ref, call it both ways, and you don't, we talked about it. Now I got to take it into my own hands. And that's why he's getting kicked out the game. That's why all this other stuff is happening, because the referees are not calling it both ways.
Okay, well, except for the fact that in Game 1, Kevin Durant isn't the only one who got kicked out.
No question.
They both did. And in Game 2, Kevin Durant's not the only one.
That was premature.
No,
that was premature.
For both of them.
That was premature,
They only got kicked out because it was their second technical.
No, but they got the 2 technicals within 20 seconds of each other. And I didn't think they had to. They wouldn't have thrown him out if it was a close game.
No question.
There's a few minutes left. Let's just, things get out of hand. But in Game 2, Kevin Durant's not the only one who fouled out. Beverly fouled out as well about 4 minutes early. Here's my issue. I understand what Kevin Durant's saying. However, you don't become a 4-time scoring champion if you only take the most efficient shots. If you only do it when it is in the most advantageous positions.
Maybe the scoring champs that we have now. But when Kevin Durant was the scoring champion, and his field goal percentage will indicate that.
He was, listen, he's an incredibly efficient scorer, but in order to score 30-plus points a game, sometimes you have to take tough shots in tough circumstances, and he is a great tough shot maker. And the point that I am making is this. When you have the 30-point lead, then of course, don't change anything. But when it's dwindling and Steph's on the bench because he's in foul trouble, and then it's dwindling more and Steph's on the court, but he is having an awful fourth quarter, then all of a sudden, you have to be able to tap into OKC Kevin Durant. Because Warrior Kevin Durant...
Not to make an excuse, but when you're in a big comeback, no one knows they're getting ready to break history. We up 31, bro.
So you don't want to change what
you never want to look like you're forcing it either. Because, like you said, he know the defense. He's dribbling into double teams. You don't want to force it.
I mean, we're talking about the biggest, comeback in NBA history.
Yes.
When you're involved in that, you're in the moment. You don't know. They ain't gonna... What Lou Williams getting ready to do?
10,
Yeah,
5,
yeah,
2.
Sure, there isn't a hindsight.
Now, I do agree with you that Kevin Durant, there should be more times that he should be aggressive. Now, he hadn't had to do that because he's in Golden State. So I do understand your argument, but when you are in that moment, you're in one of the biggest comebacks on the other side, you don't know. You don't know that when you're getting ready to wake up the next morning, it's getting ready to be history.
But the other aspect of it is that when we talk about how we're going to evaluate these guys, some of them we're going to hold them to the standard that they want to be held to. Kevin Durant believes he deserves to be considered and has earned the right to be considered the best player in the world. I know a lot of people think he is the best player in the world.
Yes.
And in that spot, when you got a guy a foot shorter than you guarding you, when you have more turnovers than field goal attempts, when your team blows the biggest lead in playoff history, and you, in back-to-back games now, have not been able to finish the games because of this back and forth with a guy who will never make an all-star team, his basketball legacy might be this series, then you're going to be held to some real scrutiny. And when your coach says, I'm giving you the green light to be more aggressive, that's what I want to see tonight. I want to see Durant. Does he say, you know what? I am going to pull up and shoot over Patrick Beverley. I am going to be a little more OKC Kevin Durant because that might be what the series calls for.
I don't think it's needed. I think it happens in basketball. Now it might be the biggest comeback ever, but I've been in games where we blowing guys out. What tends to happen is we get the clock watching. We're not even playing no more. We're just watching the clock, hurry up clock, run out, and that's what happened. And the Clippers kept playing. It happens to teams, and it just so happened to them in the playoffs. But I'm not worried. KD going to come out and be the same KD. They're going to win by 30, and we won't even be talking about this.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.